Hello, this is Snow White with my Bigfoot Diary Part 15. And this video covers August 2016. August 2nd. Nothing had happened overnight. They haven't messed with the dolls for a while, so I decided to move the girl and two Bigfoot dolls to the railing to see if it would catch their interest. August 3rd. Well, it worked. It caught their interest because the older Bigfoot doll was on the ground and the girl doll had dirt on her face where something had touched it. I'd wiped her face off last night, so I know that there was no dirt on it. I'm wondering if there's any significance to the one Bigfoot doll being left on the railing with the girl doll. Was the older one on the ground and the other one left up on the railing together with the girl doll because to them each Bigfoot doll represents a certain individual in the group and they feel certain friendship with me? So that is why that they singled that one out and left it on the railing? So you see that there is dirt on the girl doll's face. And that, like I said, that wasn't there last night. I know because I had cleaned her face off. Some other things have been moved on the railing too. Yesterday you can see that the pink ball was inside that bottle cap. And today, then this morning, it was on the porch. And the number, or the dice that's on the right, that they were both turned with the one facing the top. The one on the right's now with the 6 at the top, and it was moved. August 4th. This morning nothing had changed on the porch, but, and this is a big but, I took my walk for the day early because it's been getting so hot later in the day. So I made my way back to the back field. When I got very near the tree line, I saw what looked like it could be a footprint, a large one. So I stopped to take some pictures. It was 7:42 a.m. at this point. I sent those pictures to my husband to look at. I took some more pictures of where it looked like something had walked into the tall grass towards the wood line, and it was in line with the footprint. So when I was done, I walked the rest of the way to the tree line, turned left, and took a few steps. Then from behind me and coming from just inside the tree line, about maybe 30 to 50 feet away, I heard a very loud vocalization. It was "Whoop!" It was insanely loud and was directed towards me, and it was unmistakably a Bigfoot. I immediately turned tail and started walking back up the hill to the house. I don't know if they were saying hi or if they were not happy that I was back there that early in the morning or what, but I wasn't taking any chances at that point. I was alone and I was unarmed. I didn't even have my small knife on me. I was not planning on going into the woods, so I didn't think I would need it. And this is where that all happened. This is what looked like the foot impression, and it looked like something had stepped into some soft dirt and left the footprint. And that is where it walked into the tall grass, and the foot impression there is in line with where something had walked into the grass. And the vocalization came from the woods directly behind where something had walked through the grass, right back in there. So that was a really interesting morning. I will never forget it. It was one of the most memorable experiences I've had so far. I'd never heard a vocalization that loud, clear, and completely impressive before. August 6th. We went away for the weekend. I left the live trap with a banana and apple in it. I closed it and I told my husband that if we got back and something was missing from it, then we would know for sure that a Bigfoot took it. We were supposed to be gone all weekend, but I got sick and we had to come home on Saturday. When we returned, I found the live trap on its side with the banana missing. I was like, what? They had opened it up and took the banana out, and nothing else could have opened that trap. See there, it's on its side. The top of the trap is up against the side of the garage with no banana in there. And it's closed back up too. But that's not all. Here's what else I found on the back porch. When we left on the 3rd, the 2 dice were with the ones at the top and the 5s facing forward. Now, the one on the right was turned so that the 3 is facing forward. Now, that evening, we sat on the front porch. As we sat there, we started smelling a dead animal smell. There was no wind, and there was nothing around the house that would smell like that. The smell went away, then it came back. Then it went away again. My husband said he thought there must be a Bigfoot peeking around the garage at us or something. Then it came back really strong. At this point, we decided it was time to go inside. And one reason was because it was getting a little creepy. The other reason was the stink was starting to gag me. I think my husband was right. I think one was very close to the front porch and perhaps moved behind the garage enough for the smell to fade a little, but then got stronger as it peeked around the corner at us. August 9th. As I was taking my walk out back and I reached the grove of locust trees not very far from our yard, I heard a throaty sound like something trying to talk as I walked by. It startled me. Now there is machinery running in the background that sort of is making a similar sound. But as I walked by and heard this, it sounded close and it seemed to be coming from the grove of trees. It was different enough to really catch my attention. And I have been wondering if they hide out in that little grove of trees. And lately they seem to be getting much more bold and forward and seeming to be trying to make more contact. And this is one example of it. And like on the 6th, with getting so close to us as we sat on the porch. Now I'm going to show you an audio clip of the sound that I heard. Okay, so August 10th. Today I walked out back, and when I reached the area behind the trailer, I noticed something strange just inside the fence where the path in there starts. Attached to a thorn bush was this old tattered flag. The flag was wrapped around a branch of the bush, and some of the thorns were holding it in place. There was also a randomly placed stick with it. As far as I could see, the stick served no obvious purpose other than being decorative or symbolic. It was not holding the flag onto the branch, nor was it attached to it. I honestly don't even know how the stick is staying there. The last time I walked back there, the flag was not there. So here are some pictures of it. This is one of the more interesting things that I found, especially away from the house. And what's interesting is that stayed like that for at least a couple weeks. And then one day I went back there and it was gone. But I thought for sure at least the stick would fall out, but it never did. So that day when I got back to the porch, I noticed that things had been moved while I was on my walk. Okay, that little pine needle branch had been in that basket for 2 days, and when I came back from my walk, it was on the ground. So on to the 11th. This morning we found something awesome on the front porch. There was a little rock placed dead center in my chair, just like the Y stick that they'd gifted for me. So I knew that this was a gift for me, and it was awesome. I also noticed something very interesting when I looked out our bedroom window. The hosta flower stems were arranged like you would find a stick structure in the woods. 2 of them were crossed to make an X, and then another one was interwoven with those to forming an arch. I found that very fascinating, and it was right outside our bedroom window. And this is looking through the window. And then, I thought maybe the wind blew it, but as I looked closer, I could see that the one that was bent into an arch was placed underneath the, what are those called, seed pods, that was holding that down. So it was pinned. Also, I was taking my walk just before sunset along the west side fence, and I heard a vocalization come from just inside the woods. So like I said, they seem to be being like more forward recently. August 13th. This evening, 7:22 p.m., we were sitting on the swing in the front yard. My husband went inside and had been in there for about 5 minutes when I heard a really loud whistle come from down in the woods by the spring. It was awesome. Here's where it came from, right down in that little grove of trees right there. 14th. Today, a banana was taken from the basket. That doesn't happen very often, so I was quite pleased. Now, the cookies I'd taken out before the 14th, but as you can see, on the 12th, the banana was there, and on the 14th, it was gone. 16th. I took a walk down on the west side today. The first thing I noticed was that there was a change to a ground stick formation that is at the beginning of the path. And this is very close to where that flag was found. You can see on the 16th how the stick formation was, and notice the little fox that followed me that day. That's one of the reasons why I have the nickname Snow White. And then on the 16th of August, you can see there was another stick added to it, which made an X. And these are a couple other things that I found down in there. And if you want to see more of that area, please watch the video Sign, Knocks, and Foxes. This was a stick that was broken down and stuck into the base of that tree. And this is an upside down T, a pretty big Y stick, a possible foot impression. And then when I got back to the house, I saw that a frilly Y stick that I had put out there was now gone. So they must have come up to the porch while I was walking in the woods and took it. So I thought that was awesome. That's the only Y stick that I had put out that they'd taken. So that's what it looked like. August 20th. It's been 4 days since anything has happened. But today at 8:16 p.m. I found the girl doll had been moved into the food basket. She's usually on the porch, so what in the world does that mean? Since they hadn't been around for a few days, I'm thinking maybe it's just them saying hi and letting me know that they hadn't forgotten about me. This is a first, though. They moved me up to that one spot on the railing where they return a lot of things a while back. That was also after a spell of inactivity, and I felt at that time that they were doing the same thing, saying hi, and that they hadn't forgotten about me. And also, this was moved sometime during the day. August 21st. This morning, the only thing that happened overnight was this little stuffed cow was knocked to the ground. The same evening, my son came down and walked to the top of the hill with me and his cousin at sunset. When I came back down to the porch, I noticed that that same stuffed cow from this morning was now in the plant. They must have come up and put it in there while we were up on the hill. That gave me a chuckle. That's also a first. I've never seen them do anything like this before. Just stuck in the plant. Seems like they have a sense of humor sometimes. August 24th. The only thing that happened on the porch this morning was that a little baby book that I put out there had been turned over. It has foil inside to make it crackle and has baby animal pictures in it, so I thought they might like it. So you can see it was face up last night. This morning it was turned over. Then I went away, and when I came home, I found that the apple was outside of the trap. And this is at least the second time that I've gone away and came home to find the apple outside of the trap and in the same place, which is a little to the left in front of the trap. Why? I don't know. They've been taking fruit from the trap a lot. Why they won't just take it out of the basket more often, I have no idea. But here's where I found the apple. August 25th. This morning the baby book was in the flowers. See, it's over, clear over in, well, they're not flowers yet, but August 26th, 6:31 a.m. The metal basket from last night, which had a flower in it and a cat button leaning up against it, was laying on the edge of the porch by the Bigfoot dolls. However, the button was still up on the railing and the flower was gone. So apparently they took the flower. However, see, the basket's on the porch, which I didn't see how it could have really fallen there. So I think it was put there and the cat button was not knocked off. 27th. This was a Saturday, 7:02 a.m. I accidentally left the back door opened all night again a week or two ago. We wondered if they went in there and messed with the tools again. Well, another tool was returned this morning, so we had our answer. Yes, they did. I could not stop laughing when I saw this, but my husband wasn't quite as amused. So they had taken his tool and brought it back. That tool had definitely been in the toolbox, so that means that they had come into the garage, got in the toolbox, and took it out. I still can't wrap my mind around the fact that they've been in our garage going through the toolbox, and more than once. In the afternoon, I wasn't feeling well, so I went in to take a nap, with the curtains open, of course, because now it's a matter of having to see if something will happen. When I woke up and checked the porch, I was quite surprised at what I found. The girl doll was covered up with a leaf like it was a blanket. It covered her up, but left the upper part of her face uncovered, which just happens to be how I sleep, with the covers up over my face a little bit. This tells me that they know when I'm sleeping and also that they can see me very well. And I thought this was very adorable that they did this with the leaf. August 29th, Monday, 4:39 p.m. When I got home from work, I found that the dolls had been moved. The man doll, car, and truck had all been put on the ground. That left the girl doll up with the Bigfoot dolls. But that's not all. She was moved over so that the older Bigfoot doll had its hand and leg over top of the girl doll, sort of in that protective position again, like it was before. So I think that I have one of the Bigfoots possibly feeling a particular friendship towards me. August 31st. We had to walk down to the spring to check on it this morning. I had been wanting to look for footprints down there for a while now because we hear so many vocals coming from down in that area. On my way down and while I was there, I kept my eyes opened. I did see several in the field on my way down, but they wouldn't photograph well, so I didn't bother. However, while we were down there, I found an old one. It also doesn't show up very well in the photograph, but it was quite large, so I went ahead and took a picture of it. So you can see it there by my foot. And like I said, it's old, but anyway. So I definitely feel that I am forming a stronger bond with at least one member of this Bigfoot clan. I also think that they are becoming more comfortable with getting physically closer to us and have been trying to communicate more. So it will be interesting to see if things progress any further in the future. And I want to say thank you to all my viewers. Thank you for watching.